Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're going to get spicy Rodney today. I don't know if you ordered that on the menu. I don't know if you can handle the spice, but it's going to happen today because I'm starting to get a little frustrated with some of the narratives that are being put out about this football team. With all that being said, you heard the news. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says the team will start Marcus Mariota, former Raider, on Sunday. Jaden Daniels' knee was limited today in practice. I'm here to tell you this right smack dab now. This game's a must-win. And here's why. Obviously, last year's coaching staff and roster and in front office was not as talented and as experienced as this front office and coaching staff and roster. And last year, we had the exact same scenario play out. The order of the games was flipped, but last year we lost to the Chargers and we did not look good, although we made a lot of mistakes. Gardner Minshew backward pass to nobody. Let's wipe that from the memory. And then we traveled to Baltimore and beat the Ravens. And we are 1-1 last year, heading into week 3 against a Carolina Panther team who had just benched their young quarterback Bryce Young in favor for the veteran Andy Dalton. It was a home opener. Everybody thought we were going to win the game. We were supposed to go to 2-1 and then go on a mini run against like the Denver Broncos, right? And the Cleveland Browns. And after that game, we ended up being 2-2 because we beat the Browns and then lost to the Broncos 2-3. This year, you win a game on the road in week 1 against a team that a lot of people thought was going to be the most improved team, double the win total, make the playoffs in the Patriots. A game that not many people picked us to win. Week 2, you play a Chargers team again that looks to be better than you, and you get embarrassed. Although, again, a lot of fixable mistakes. And now you're rolling into week 3 against a team that at full strength would have been favored against you, and that makes a lot of sense because last year they were in the NFC Championship. And they are benching because of an injury, not because he's playing bad, but they are sitting down their star young quarterback for veteran quarterback Marcus Mariota. History for the sanity of Raider Nation, for the sanity of that locker room. And I'm not saying that this loss derails the whole season. You got to go out and find a way to win this game. This is a any means necessary game. This isn't a Gino get on track game. This isn't a Ashton Genty please have 100 yards for my fantasy team. This is not any of that. Cut the bull. Cut the bull. This is go out and win the game. I don't care if it's 3-0. I don't care if it's 30-28. Find a way to beat a team with an inferior quarterback and an inferior coaching staff. I like Dan Quinn. I like Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury didn't win a national championship. Dan Quinn hasn't won a Super Bowl. Lost a Super Bowl. Hasn't won a Super Bowl. And Pete Carroll knows what that Dan Quinn defense looks like because it's our defense. And we got to go out there and find a way to win. And we're going to talk about Ashton Genty and the ridiculous narrative that's being spread out there by the national media. And we're going to talk about Geno Smith and the bounce back and the state of the roster and the state of the franchise right now. We're going to talk about all of that. But before we do, I do need to tell you about the sponsor for the video, DraftKings. With the NFL season in full swing, there is no time better than the present to finally get involved in betting on your favorite football teams, and now you can with the channel sponsorship, DraftKings Sportsbook. The promo that we have here is that new customers bet $5 and then get $200 instantly in bonus bets, and all you have to do is download the DraftKings app and sign up using the promo code ALLaBorde. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the options are endless. Whether you're the type of person that likes to build the perfect parlay for an even bigger payout or bet on games live as they happen, the options are endless. And do not worry, if betting is not available in your state, you can still get in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. We are now multiple weeks into the NFL season and it is getting more consistent to see which teams are playing at their peak performance and which players are scoring and gaining the most yards. So there is no better time to take advantage of the promo code provided by DraftKings, which is ALLaBorde, to get your $200 in bonus bets after betting $5 to make your most confident bets moving forward. Let's talk about Ashton Genty because I don't even know. I don't even know what to say here because this is some Raider fans. It's a lot of the national media. It's people I like, Rich Eisen and First Things First. And I get it. They need to talk about controversies, right? And Ashton Genty saying you don't draft me that high without giving me the ball, as if the context of that wasn't he was asked, hey, when somebody drafts you that high, don't you think you should get the ball more? And he said, yeah, but that starts with me. I got to do better. I got to pass protect better. I got to hit the holes better. It wasn't him calling out the coaching staff, which is what some people are trying to make you believe. However, there is this narrative that, I don't know, Boise State, little running back, maybe drafted a little too high, as if he hasn't continually run over, multiple starting linebackers and defensive backs already. Last game that we played, 43 yards on 11 carries. 3.99999 yards per carry, basically 4 yards per carry. We were down 17-6. The Chargers come out at halftime and have a 9-minute drive, and they take up half of the third quarter. Yeah, you maybe should be able to run the ball a little bit, but most of the time you got to pass. So I'm not going to complain about his lack of touches anymore in that game where we were up against it. We didn't know the defense was going to be this good, okay? So now that we know that, we're able to run the ball even if we're down a little bit. And this narrative that, like, running backs just come into the league if they're drafted top 10 and blow the doors off this place is just not true. Because I could see people being like, oh, well, you drafted him as high as Saquon Barkley. Why doesn't he look like Saquon Barkley? All right, let's look. Let's look at Saquon Barkley. Pro Football Reference, Saquon Barkley. Ever heard of him? Ever heard of him? Went to Penn State. Didn't go to Boise State. Went to Penn State. Let's look. This is, by the way, he ended this rookie season. This is rookie season. He ended it with 1,300 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns. Excuse me, dog. And 11 rushing touchdowns. How did he start? He had a really good game against Jacksonville that they lost, 18 for 106 and a touchdown. And then what did he proceed to do the next 1, 2, 3, 4 games? 11 for 28. Wow. 17 for 82 and a touchdown. Not great. 10 for 44. 15 for 48. He didn't have 20 carries in a game until week 9. And then he had 27. And then they unleashed him. 24. 14 for 170. 5 catches. 17. 21. Only how many times did he have over 20 carries? 1, 2, 3. Saquon Barkley only had 20 carries or more, 3 times his rookie season. Well, what about somebody who has a bigger workload like Christian McCaffrey? What did Christian McCaffrey do his rookie year? Just make sure I'm recording. I'm always stressed out about it. What did Christian McCaffrey do his first rookie season? He was drafted 8th overall. Oh, he had 435 yards rushing and 651 receiving. What did he do rushing? 13 for 47, 8 for 10, 4 for 16, 6 for 16, 3 for 7. Oh, well, he was involved in the pass game. They refused to give him the ball. 15 carries for 66 yards. Now, Rodney, you're kind of stacking the deck because you're picking guys that didn't have unbelievable rookie seasons. What about Ezekiel Elliott, who led the league in rushing as a rookie? And he did lead the league in rushing. He had 1,600 yards, 332 carries. Wow, they were just feeding Ezekiel Elliott the ball. How about his first 2 games? 20 for 51, 21 for 83. That was Ezekiel Elliott, who led the league in rushing first 2 games. And then he exploded. 30, 23, I'm just counting the carries. 15, 28, 21, 22, 18, 21, 25, 20. But guess what's the key here for Ezekiel Elliott? What happened the rest of his career? Let's look at it. They gave him that rock, man. 322, 242, 304, 301. And then it starts to fall off. And he had what? A 6-year career. Because they absolutely ground him into the dirt. 322 his rookie year. They were awesome. Where has it gotten him now? Is he even on a football team now? And that was with the great offensive line. I don't know what I just did. So look, we could drive Ashton Genty's legs into the ground, and maybe we would have lost the game 20-16 instead of 20-9. But the narrative that Ashton Genty, who's been the most hyped running back since Saquon Barkley, should come in and be Saquon Barkley, Guess what? He is. He's doing exactly what Saquon did in his first few games. Not that much. We are pacing him. Chip Kelly, in the press conference, had a little bit of a Freudian slip when he said, look, Ashton's a young player, and we don't want to waste him. And then he was like, well, not waste. We don't want to overexert the rookie. We want to get him used to the speed of the game. What did Max Crosby say that Pete Carroll did in the Patriots game? They ran sort of a blandish, vanilla game plan on offense and defense in the first half. And Pete Carroll said, hold the door, stick to the status quo. And in the second half, we're going to flip the script on them. And in the second half, we absolutely dominated the New England Patriots. I believe that Ashton Genty is being worked into the game plan slowly, methodically. That's why you're seeing a little Zamir White. Because when we play a team like the Commanders, where you have a chance to go 2-1 before playing the Bears, who have not been great, the Colts, who have been good, but who knows, and then the Titans, before some divisional games, this is a chance to finally arrive in the NFL with your Ashton Genty game plan. This is the time to do it. The offensive line hasn't been great, yes, but he had 4 yards a carry against the Chargers when he did play and get in there. Pete Carroll has been coaching in the league most likely longer than you have been alive, unless you're an older viewer, and I appreciate the older viewers as well. And longer than people that have been criticizing Ashton Genty have been watching professional sports. He knows how to get a running back to be at his highest potential. This is a Raiders team who is right on schedule for the rebuild. Their defense is ahead of schedule. And now going into this Washington Commanders football game without Jaden Daniels, and by the way, with Jaden Daniels, they were 3.5-point favorites. And you get 3 points for being at home. I don't know if I wouldn't have picked the Raiders to win this game if Jaden was playing in this game, because the Commanders' offense hasn't looked that great, and our defense has been awesome considering the talent we have out there. Awesome. Shout out to Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll. Now, Geno's got to wake up. He's got to get his act together. But it's better to make the mistakes now and put it on film now to know what's going to happen moving forward. I don't expect Dan Quinn to run the same defense that Jesse Minter ran against us, where you're just playing quarters and you're backing everybody up. He's an aggressive guy. He's a man defense guy. And we're going to be able to run the ball more consistently because they're going to unleash Ashton a little bit. And we're going to be able to run those man beaters with Dante and Trey coming over the middle with a healthier Brock Bowers. This is a must-win game. And I don't want to hear the 10 a.m. body clock excuse, because coming into the season, Pete Carroll was 16-4 in 10 a.m. body clock games, and now he's 17-4 after having gone into New England and beating the Patriots. It's time. If you want to take the step here, Raiders, as an organization, and prove yourself that you can make the playoffs this year, you got to go win a game where you've got the edge at head coach, at quarterback, and maybe at defense. Because the Commanders' defense did not look good against the Packers. The Packers are really good. They looked good against the Giants, but we don't know what the Giants are at this point. It's time to show up and show out. And I'm tired of the Ashton Genty slander. You guys want to sell your stock? Sell it to me, suckers. I'll take it all. Whoever's watching, Raiders fans or not, you're selling your Ashton Genty stock, sell it to me. I'll buy low. This guy's played 2 games, and he's had flashes of excellence, and we're ready to just throw him in the garbage. Geno Smith is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. He had 1 game that was terrible. He forgot how to play the quarterback position. But I've got rose-colored glasses on. Okay. As someone who projected the team being 1-2 after these 3 games, we have a chance to be ahead of my schedule with winnable games coming up. But this is what happened last year. We had Andy Dalton on the schedule. We just check-marked it as a win, and then we said, oh, we can win that game. We can win the next game. We can win the next game after that. No. I'm not looking past Marcus Mariota. He's a talented football player. I'm not looking past the team that was in the NFC Championship last year. We got to lock in and focus. And if this video happens to find the desk of a Raider player, lock in and focus. Do it for us. Because we've seen this story before. I've read this book before. I've rented this movie on Amazon before. And I'm tired of it, and I want it to end now. If this is a new regime, if this is a new culture, you go out and you win this game. That people are still going to pick the Commanders, even though Jaden Daniels isn't playing. Find a way. Right the ship. Prove us right. And Ashton Genty, You're doing just fine, kiddo. You're doing just fine. Whew, okay. That's going to be it for me. That's a preview of the game. I'm excited. I'm ready to rock and roll. Shout out to my $5 and $10 patrons. Shout out to Ashton Genty. Shout out to DraftKings. Link in the description below for the sponsors and for my Discord, which is free. Get in there, man. Get in there. What are you doing? Please be sure to subscribe for After on the Church. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.